build done. But first, I want to give a shout out to all my fellow Pisceans out there. Gang, you all already know we in the build done. Also want to give a shout out to all my 2-2s and my 3-3s and my 2-2-2s and my 3-3-3s and my 7-7-7s. And shout out to any other angelical numerical numbers that I may have forgot to mention. Also want to thank everybody for coming out to support the channel. Thank you. And those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell notification, be notified of my upcoming videos and content. And we're going to jump right in. So today's topic, School of Fish Part 2. And we're going to be discussing the Gemini versus Pisces war. Now, we got to ask ourselves, why Pisces attract the biggest enemies? Well, for those of you that may not know this, but we're going to dive deep into this segment. What's going on, Thomas Faye? Welcome to the live. What's going on? How you doing? And see, when it comes to this cosmic clash between Pisces and Gemini, just understand that this is the ultimate test between emotions and intellect. So when it comes to the emotions and intellect, this is what tends to clash. Because why? Well, both signs are mutable. You got mutable air sign as well as a mutable water sign. And the situation goes out like this because you got the illusion versus the logic. So neither one likes to use the same skill. In other words, like you could picture it as being the same move. You know, if it was a finishing move, you could look at it like that. But neither one, you know, a Gemini is not going to use an illusion as, you know, vice versa. So when it comes to illusion versus the logic, then you got intuition going against deception. Now, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to break it down for you because there's a lot of hidden truths, and we're going to discover the biggest challenges between the two. Now, you got to ask yourself, why Gemini and Pisces clash naturally? Because this is someone that is an open enemy. You might think that, something needs to happen far as you getting into a beef with a Gemini to actually create some chaos. No, that's not even how it goes. See, your open enemy is a Gemini. So you naturally are going to have Gemini enemies, whether you like it or not. You're not going to be able to pick and choose. So you know how sometimes there's different animals. Let's say dogs, for example. It's certain type of breeds that don't like other type of breed dogs, and you wonder why they bark at one another. Now, you and I can't understand what they're barking for, but if by them being two different dogs, obviously that's something that you gotta pay attention to. So when it comes to Gemini and Pisces, it's always beef. See, now there's a spiritual lesson that I want to teach you guys about. See, one thing is that I'm going to tell you guys how a Pisces can protect their energy from air signs. Now, you got to know, see, air signs is cool at times. Oh, my effing, excuse me, you guys. But when it comes to, so the energy, okay, going back, somebody just pulled up alongside me. But anyway, when it comes to the karmic test between a Gemini and a Pisces, now we're going to talk about this because both signs are capable of being manipulative. But one thing that Gemini can't do that Pisces can do well is draw the illusion. Now we're going to talk about it because the illusion is heavy, see, and it allows you to have some sort of emotion there, because without the emotion wouldn't be an effective illusion, because the distraction would be the emotions. Now we're going to talk about the secret spiritual lessons, as I mentioned, in this opposition between Gemini and Pisces. And also we're going to talk about We're gonna talk about let me see, I got some more stuff. Let me tell you guys. Let's see 1 second. Okay, here. This is what we was talking about. So when it comes to there's different realms of reality here. So when we talk about Gemini and Pisces clashing naturally, this is what we're talking about. See, in language, you know that Gemini comes with the logic. They come with that mental stimulation that we know of. But here's another thing. They come with mental agility. See, this is the difference between when it comes to the mutables. See, when you got mutable air and you got someone like Gemini, this is someone that can change the way they think on a dime. See, when how Pisces can change on a dime with how they feel. So it's different. Now, here's the thing. The fact of the matter is that, see, Gemini, they live. So imagine if Gemini lived in a neighborhood where everybody in that neighborhood lives in the same vicinity. So let's look at it like this. Gemini, they live in logic. There's no other way. It's not emotional and it's not nothing. So you can't mix and mingle. So that's why when you're a Pisces, you can't mix and mingle with a Gemini, because there is no room for compromise. See, it's almost like, what do you want to happen? Do you want that Gemini to leave off with your head? See, what they used to say back in the day, off with his head. But see, it's because the language, and it's because of that mental agility of what I spoke about. And the fact of the matter is that, see, Geminis, they need information because of the stimulation. This is why they oftentimes analyze, debate, and play with words. See? So that's why you gotta, it could get very tricky for a Pisces dealing with a Gemini that behaves this way. Now, the thing about it is, the difference now with Pisces is Pisces lives in a different neighborhood. A Pisces they live in emotion. See? So imagine everybody that stays on that block, they all live in emotion. So we talking about emotion, intuition, and symbolism. So Pisces, they feel before they think. See, that's the process. It's not like one without the other. They feel before they think. So when it comes to the result of this, the fact, see, Gemini doesn't understand Pisces. So Gemini oftentimes sees Pisces as confusing, because that whole pulling back of which a Pisces does oftentimes, or often they may behave that way, is they pull back to analyze and observe first before they actually think about what to do or what to say. That right there throws Gemini off, because Gemini is all about the result. They're all about, let's get it going right now. Let's go. Like they don't operate or behave the same. Now, here's the thing. See, Pisces, on the flip side, Pisces feels Gemini is shallow. See, not taking account into all the, everything that's there at the present moment regarding an individual and how they feel. See, so when it comes to an example of this, and see, you got to be careful, because even when it comes to language and communication, best believe that a Gemini jokes different. See, they jokes is about your feelings. See, they'll do these little jokes where they actually will play on that. They'll play with words regarding your feelings. So when and see, this is the thing. Why do you think they do this? They do this because it makes them feel comfortable. See, and that's why you can be in a situation dealing with a Gemini and you're a Pisces, and you wonder why that Gemini is cutting down on you and gaslighting you, because that's making them feel that keeps everything light for the Gemini. See, and easygoing for them to feel comfortable. See, because that's the thing. A Gemini, when they get into a mind state that they cannot figure out something, then they like to throw distractions. They like to throw things. They like to change on a dime the way they think about a situation, meaning their mental state. So this is when you see a Gemini doing this, that is to throw you off. And then on the flip side, you got Pisces, that when Pisces gets into a state of mind of confusion, what does Pisces do? Pisces draws the illusion, see, which is a distraction. So that distraction throws people off because only Pisces knows what the truth is or what they're really doing and why. But see, it's not explained. So think about it when a Pisces dealing with a Gemini. Gemini is looking for information and it's not there. It's not going to even be something that a Gemini can grasp or get to, especially when they want it to be snappy. Now, here's the thing. They're doing this when they're gaslighting you with your feelings. They're doing this to lighten the mood, see, of which a Gemini feels. And see, this is the thing. Pisces reads it as mockery. See, Pisces doesn't let you get away with doing certain things. With you must pay for every cycle that is thrown. See, it's like a boomerang. So anytime you do something with the Pisces, Pisces is the sign that holds you accountable. When it comes to the age of Pisces, is different from all the other zodiac signs, because when the age of Pisces is all about being accountable and taking responsibility for your actions. So that's why no sign gets away with anything that they do towards a Pisces. And this is what they say. Oh, your Pisces is so sensitive. Wow, he's jumping down my throat because I said this. No, it's just that a Pisces holds you accountable for any disrespect or anything that you do, because Pisces sees the truth and the motive behind it. See, Pisces is all about exposing your hidden motives, you know, how you really feel. See, so there is no mask. That's the difference. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to the change versus the depth, see, as I mentioned, Gemini is mutable air. A lot of people out there do not know this. They forget the element that goes with the sign. Some people just focus on the sun sign, the moon sign, the rising sign, the natal chart. They don't look at the actual fact that, okay, what does mutable mean? So when we're talking about an air sign in Gemini, we're talking about an air sign that constantly shifts their focus. If you, anything that I said so far, if you remember that piece and that part, I would write that down, because a lot of times people forget that one very thing and they wonder why. The Gemini, when they shift gears and they change on the dime, this is what they're doing. They're shifting their focus. See, now here's the thing. See, Pisces is mutable water. So what does this mean? Well, when it comes to a Pisces being mutable water, this means that they're constantly shifting their emotions. See how the two are different? One is shifting their focus, being mutable air, and with Pisces being mutable water, they're shifting how they feel. See, that's why when you catch a Pisces dealing with somebody, whether they like them or not, both parties get treated differently based on how that Pisces feel from one person to the next. So you don't get the same treatment. It all depends on how cool you are with that Pisces. See, but then you might end up getting a butt end of the joke, or you might not even be a part of that experience. It depends on how you and that Pisces, relationship, friendship, basically is. Now, getting back to the mutables. Now, when both change at once, no one anchors the connection. So this is a playing field that it's not like the Gemini is going to help the Pisces, with that emotion that changes, and vice versa. Welcome everybody that came to the live. I'm not ignoring nobody. This is a complex situation that needs to be explained further. And so many people have the wrong idea of what a Gemini and a Pisces being enemies and what this really means. See, so I wanted to thank everybody for that's here right now, that's watching and listening. Shout out to everybody. Let's see. I mean, when it comes to I guess YouTube they got their own way, far as like, the it has something to do with the watch, you know, with the ads or whatnot. That's the only way. Robert, let's see who asked that. Robert. Yeah, so it has to do with the ads, but we get also super chats, can show support by sending a super chat. And also I'm working right now on my Discord, because I'm gonna be doing a membership, I'm gonna be doing a membership on Discord, so I'm setting it up right now, actually. So that's gonna be the other way. So any type of content that's not on YouTube will be on Discord. Let me see. Definitely. Okay, Chastity says she no, shout out to you. In life, like it said, I'm a Pisces with a Gemini moon. Okay, so you probably understand how when you feel, how based on how you feel can change. See, and it's fast too, because like you could be someone that's very unpredictable with how you feel. So let's say somebody may say, oh, you want to go get some McDonald's, but you might actually not want McDonald's all of a sudden. But even if it's some place that you like to eat, it could be iffy with you, because one minute you like McDonald's and then the next minute you want to go to Cheesecake Factory or somewhere different, chocolate, you know, anywhere. And it's like, wow, you know, people could get used to you doing one thing, and then when you switch your focus, now it's like, oh, because it does, even if you have a moon, it still applies to you, because your how you feel can constantly just be fluctuating and changing. And it could really throw people off, because they would never really know who you are. It's like your identity keeps changing. Now, let me see. When Ashley Welcome said, Pisces are drifted, they always come back if they really love you. Yeah, they come back, but see, they come back with a different emotion. See, because the feeling has to match the environment. You put a certain type of reptile, or, you know, put a certain type of fish in a different environment, it's going to behave different. And it has to, for protection, because everybody that is in that environment, they're gonna behave a different way. So Pisces has to match the energy in the room, see, in order for everything to flow right. When Pisces realized that there's an ego present somewhere, somehow, it's going to dissolve it. And another thing too, if something is too big for a Pisces, meaning a situation or an environment, guess what? A Pisces will dissolve themselves. See, that's when the Pisces will realize that this situation is too big for me. Like, I can't possibly outmaneuver what's going on. So a Pisces will retreat, or just quit, or just reroute, based off of changing how they feel about that idea or decision that they made. Because a Pisces will say, oh, I was wrong. This isn't the job for me. I don't want to work here. And then a Pisces will feel like, okay, I need to go apply elsewhere. See? And they don't have the same energy that they once experienced, because that illusion is shattered. See, when illusion can be what you thought something were to be. You know, you thought Sean and Kobe was, you know, good people to visit, hang out with. But then once you got to know them, you saw something different. So when you're a Pisces and you see it and you feel it, then you start thinking about it. Then once you make sense of what you're feeling, because it adds up to what you're thinking, that's when the Pisces will say, no, the whole emotion changes, where now they actually hate the particular people that they once spoke good of, because it wasn't like that when the experience wasn't the same. So that's something you got to pay attention to when it happens. In life, like it said, I changed so fast, it's crazy. It said he's super indecisive. Emotions can be mutable. I'm battling twins and fishes. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because I know this to be true, because my dad, he has a moon in Gemini, and my brothers are Aries. And every time we talk about Pops, it's like we be saying like, oh, like he always is interested in something that we actually had no idea about. as we get older, we keep finding out these different aspects to him, is where the way he comes off is not the way he feels. So it's like you could tell his focusness is shifting constantly, like on different things that he wants to do or change in his life, but we don't know anything about it. It's like once we're with him or we go somewhere with him, it's like we could feel the constant fluctuating of changes, constantly changing things, to where we actually get to know a part of him, and then all of a sudden he's not that way anymore. See? So it's like, for instance, he might speak good of a basketball player in a conversation, and then the next minute he'll be like, yeah, they need to get rid of such and such. He sucks. I don't even know why they traded. And it's like, it changes your whole, it throws you off, because it's like you start feeling like, wait a minute, you just said you like that NBA player. Now you're talking about he should be traded. So then it's like, if you pay attention, you and your brother could be looking at each other like, he just said he likes such and such. Now he's saying he don't. So it's like, it could be a start for a conversation to expand from that point, based off of him now having a different mindset. But you got to know one thing, one secret, is stimulation of language, logic, because guess what? What would a Gemini hate the most in a situation? For everything to get sour, everything to get quiet. See, as long as a person keeps talking, that's all that matters. So sometimes I feel like when a Gemini changes their mind, it's only to keep a conversation going or a debate. So, that's something that a Pisces oftentimes doesn't like to, involve themselves in debates. But Gemini, they do this carefree. They live in logic, see? So they live in analyzing things. They live in the particular, switch, having a different opinion, and then doing the opposite of what they said, or any type of thing that they're standing on. They can actually do the opposite regarding their actions. So that for example, they can say, oh, I'm going to vote for this person in front of a few people, and then when they actually go put their ballot in, or it's time to put fill it out, they might actually put the very person that they actually said they wouldn't vote for. It's stuff like that you got to watch with Gemini, because they can be inconsistent. See, like a person that's inconsistent, you can't trust them, because what would they do? They would go out the back door when the front door is wide open. It's like little things like that. And you might ask yourself, why are you doing this? Like, why can't you just be straight up with me? Because that's boring. See, to a Gemini, that's boring. That's too predictable. See, this is a sign that's going to make you constantly shift your focus. If you're not the type of person to be focused on different projects, it's not gonna be a fun ride with the Gemini. And here's another thing. So we talked about the mutables. Now here's the thing. No one anchors the connection. So an example of this would be, see, a Pisces wants a heart-to-heart connection with a person. See, but this is the thing. The difference is Gemini, they would change the topic mid-conversation. And this is used as a distraction. Why is this? Because when you start to have a heart-to-heart conversation, then what happens? You will have a real connection based up from that experience, right? Well, Gemini, you can have a conversation with them that is about some real ish going on, and all of a sudden they'll change the topic on a dime mid-conversation to throw you off, because you guys were touching on a real situation. You guys were exchanging emotions, and now you guys are feeling something together, which keeps y'all bonded. A Gemini doesn't want to bond to you. See, they just want to talk to you. And that talking is separate from that human experience. It's someone that wants to talk, but they don't want to feel anything. They don't want to feel any type of bonding toward another person, because why? They want to be free. They want to be separate from you, but they just want to have the idea and bring the the logic to you. So you can't have a real connection with a Gemini. And as soon as you go emotional, now it's like you stepping out of bounds in a basketball game. Because now it's like, oh, they're no longer even interested in talking to you because they are superficial. That's how they live. Anybody know what superficial means? It's not real. It's like something that's not real. See? So you can't really have that. Don't get into a mind state of thinking like, oh man, my Gemini friend, we're best of friends. We always, talk. It might just merely be that, of which keeps you guys together is that talk, that little talk that you guys have, and that's it. Gemini is like a butterfly. So as you guys know, with the metamorphosis of how a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, only to escape as you get too close to it, right? But you see how when you do not take the Gemini serious and you're not paying them no mind, what do? The butterfly will land on you, right? Until you realize its existence, its identity, and its presence, it doesn't give you a chance to identify it. You just have to know that it's a butterfly. You see what I'm saying? You have to just know, oh, there go a Gemini. Boom. What are we going to do? Well, let's just ignore that butterfly for right now. Let's just keep talking. Then you know what that Gemini going to do? AKA that butterfly, it's going to be curious. It's going to come around you and say, hey, what are you guys talking about? Hey, I want to get a turn to talk. I want to talk too. See? So it's like, that's what they look for. They throw themselves into conversations, but as soon as people stop talking, that Gemini is going to try to find a way out. See? Last thing they want is to be captured, put in a cage, or, hey, become somebody's pet or best friend. Now, when it comes to the emotional transparency versus the mental mask, this is a different type of breed, you guys. When I look with the words that I'm giving you guys, we're talking about a mental mask. How can a person wear a mask mentally? Well, this is a Gemini. Now, this is a person that lies. See? To save face. And this is so wrong, and it's so bad because they can lie about how they really feel. They could put a mask on what they're saying to you to make it seem like, oh, like we're cool, but that Gemini might really hate you. But they don't give you a fair exchange of that emotion because they don't want you to know that it's that deep. Excuse me. They don't want you to know that. They want to confuse you on purpose. Now, here's the thing. See, Pisces expresses pain through energy and silence. So at least they give you something. They don't just leave you out there to hang to dry, right? They give you something. You either get that cold silence, and that lets you know that that's a Pisces experience, that's them expressing their pain. And it comes out through energy as well. Now, Gemini, on the other hand, intellectualizes their pain, but they hide behind humor. So when it comes to that gaslighting, when you see a Gemini start to do that gaslighting, and you like, damn, you a little bully today. Like, you cutting up today. You done cuss me out, and you said all kind of stuff about stuff I done told you. But that is a way that the Gemini is letting off steam. But this is what they do. They intellectualize their pain. See? Now, here's the thing. They use the humor as a mask. And that's another way that they express the pain. But yeah, somebody said, he's a shapeshifter. Gemini moons, our brains are wired. Said we will come up with the logical reason to why we no longer like. Yeah. And that's the thing. But see, some people work up to a point of not liking somebody. And that doesn't happen overnight. That happens, from the experiences that you have with the person. But what Gemini sometimes does is they test you and they hit you with certain questions, and different arsenal styles of communication and play with words. So sometimes it can happen so fast where a Gemini can make a decision so quickly and they can act on it, and all of a sudden you could get in trouble for something. You can get fired from a job. Something bad could just transpire based off of that Gemini just not liking you. So you get, what I'm saying is, you can get sucked into something through communication. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to Gemini, they also create energetic static. And what this is that when it comes to a air sign, air scatters water. So when you turn a fan on and you used to have, a cup of water in front of a fan, you notice that the water it moves in a certain direction from which the fan is blowing, right? So water, on the other hand, it clouds air. See? So that's the reason why you have that whole abrupt bump in the heads. And you ever notice that what happens when a Gemini is talking to you? They always rub you the wrong way, Pisces. No matter, it's like they can say the most, they can say something that's not intended to be an insult or anything. It's just naturally, this is what the live is about. The School of Fish Part 2. Naturally are enemies. There's nothing you can do. It's just naturally, you just naturally end up having your op is a Gemini. Now, we're going to talk about the secret spiritual lessons in this opposition. Now, one of the things that I'm going to mention is communication without compassion. See? And this is with Gemini, communication without compassion. Just because they're talking to you doesn't mean they care about anything anything about you. Doesn't mean they care. And that's not fair, because you're the type of person that operates a certain type of way, tradition, the way your upbringing was. This could really throw you off, because you're wired to thinking that, oh, if I'm talking to someone and we're having a good conversation, oh, this person, I guess they cool with me. They must like me if they sit here and talk to me. It's different with Gemini. You see, it said Geminis have good sarcasm like Aquarius. I understand them to a degree. We both are air signs. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's with Gemini, I would say that as a Pisces, you're not going to fully understand them. They're too tricky and they're too quick-witted to where as soon as you say something, they know how to outmaneuver based off of what you just said to them. Let's say you're trying to, especially when you're a Pisces, let's just say you're trying to catch them in a lie or something. The Gemini can word and play with those words and kind of gaslight and find a way to try to throw you off from finding out the truth. See, it's in those type of moments. Now, the thing about it is, Pisces can teach Gemini empathy. Now, this is a power that Geminis don't have like Pisces does, is empathy. See? And see, when it comes to this empathy, see, on the flip side, see, Gemini can teach Pisces articulation. And that goes with how to speak clearly, how to speak fluently, how to different arsenals of communication. Emails, writing, typing, you call it. Now together they can merge, because while you got intuition, which is just as powerful as intellect. But see, if you have both, if you have intuition and intellect, then this is going to be a higher frequency of understanding. See? So it's good to have both. Now the next thing is detachment versus surrendering. Now, see, Gemini, they got to learn that freedom without feeling is emptiness. See, you have to feel. There's no escaping feelings and emotions. They come with each human and animal, you name it. Now, the thing about it is, Pisces must learn that surrendering without those boundaries is self-sabotage. See, When both learn to balance, then they evolve from the karmic chaos to a conscious partnership. See? So the next thing I have is see the truth versus perception. See, now this is very dangerous. This is why you end up clashing with Geminis, because the truth versus perception. See, Geminis, they're good at exposing the illusion. See, now that's cold-blooded right there. They have a knack for this on 10 far as them exposing illusions. So when Pisces drop that illusion bomb, Geminis ain't gonna fall for it. They are not gonna fall. They can see the illusion clear as crystal clear. See, why is that? Because the fan blows water. See, if the fan element can blow water in a certain direction, that means it sees through it. It sees right through it, right? That's like a laser pointer of focusness to move water. See? And then on top of that is the fact that when both Gemini and Pisces, they learn balance, they evolve, like I said. So they have to learn how to stay balanced. Now, going back to the truth is the fact that Geminis, they expose the illusion, and see, Pisces, they reveal the spiritual truth. So the clash, I'm going to tell you where the clash comes from. See, the clash comes from because it forces each Pisces and Gemini to confront their own shadow version of deception. See how a Gemini don't want to come clean, doesn't want to expose what they're doing, who they are. See? So that's why I said when it comes to Gemini, it's always looking for an identity. They find themselves in who they talk to. They don't want you to know who they are. See? If I sit here and talk to you every day, and I'm trying my hardest not to let you figure me out, you can see how long that conversation can go before a person actually thinks to say, wow, I really don't know anything about Tyrone. He always talks to me on the bus stop, but hey, to this day, it's been what, 3 months and I still don't know him. Well, that's done on purpose, my friend. So that's the thing. You have to really get to the bottom of what the Gemini is not trying to show you the truth, which is deception. So they can play with words and throw you off and fool you and literally have your brain just literally sliding all over the place like air. If you was to have a paper bag, what would happen? If it's windy outside and you had a paper bag, you throw that paper bag outside, what is it going to do? It's going to blow wherever the wind takes it, right? That's the same thing that happens with Gemini. And if you give them your peace of mind, guess what they're going to do with it? They're going to blow your mind every single time, all in different directions, instead of straight. See, instead of direct. The wind that blows the water, it blows it into different direction, but guess what? It doesn't give you a direction of being direct. It's going you all over the place. See, that's what Gemini that's what Gemini stand for. It's all over the place. It's spontaneous. See, it doesn't have a go-to. It's not direct. See, so when you look at it differently, now you know what you're dealing with. See, and they can no longer trick you anymore. Now, the thing about it is, how can Pisces protect themselves with their energy? How can Pisces protect their energy from air signs? Because I'm telling you, air signs, they could take your energy. They can really drain you. Now, what you have to do is you got to ground yourself before you feel. See? You can't just go into the game feeling everything. You got to hold back and you have to ground yourself before you feel. See, it don't mirror an air sign chaos. You are not going to win that. You're not going to win that battle. Don't try, because you guys are two different elements. And see, on top of that is the fact you have to breathe, pause, and observe first. See? And the thing about it is, you do not overshare your dreams with an air sign. Air signs, they love information, in case you didn't know. And see, what happens with Pisces is Pisces leaks energy through emotional overexposure. See? So that's why you could become, it could be a part of you. You could literally shut down when air signs come on the scene. They just hit so hard that it's like, damn, Pisces might feel like, damn, just to actually be just present in a moment, they could feel drained and they ain't even said nothing yet. You could be the type of person to take a deep breath before you actually talk to an air sign, just because they so messy and so intense that it's like, wait a minute, there's so much stuff going on, there's nothing's organized. So you're gonna sit there, when you're talking to them, you're gonna sit there and just deplete emotional, just leaking energy. What we call that, wasted energy. Now, the next thing is you have to stay rooted in reality when you're dealing with air signs, Pisces. Or if you're a water sign, you have to stay rooted. Because if you don't stay rooted in reality, you're going to be, remember, the illusion doesn't work with Gemini. Just know that. Now, you got to journal what's real versus what you sense. See, this is the thing, sometimes your senses can be off. When you dealing, you know how some people say, well, I kind of just sense like this Gemini is kind of like fake. You might say that, for example. Don't go off of the senses, man. That's not going to get, you have to journal down what they're doing first. Then you apply your senses to see if it makes sense for you in your situation. Now, one thing that would do, remember I said when Neptune steps in, when the illusion doesn't work, Neptune comes with this fog that I was telling you about in the first School of Fish live. And see, the thing about it is that this is going to keep Neptune's fog from taking over. When you write down things and then you apply the senses. See? Because then you got something to go back to logically. You could say, oh yeah, on Friday, Pam, she did steal my lunch from the break room. And then I kind of sensed that it was her because she was the one, hell no, she was the one that was always in the room. It was her. See how you're not just sensing without writing the stuff down? Because if you just go off your, oh, I sense that such and such, I sense that Brenda was in the break room, you could really confuse yourself and throw yourself off. So you got to stay rooted in reality. Now, the next thing is you want to use creative outlets as shields. Now, see how you would do this, you got to channel your emotions into music, poetry, art, whatever your craft is, instead of confrontation with the Gemini. See, you have to distract your energy, channel it into something of that nature, not on the Gemini. Remember, you cannot mirror the chaos that comes with Gemini. Mercury is too freaking destructive, and it's just too much. See, you know how they be saying, oh, you're doing too much. That's how it is. Now, this is the thing. When Gemini comes on the scene, this is a karmic test for Pisces. So, you ever be in a function, it's not for you to run from these individuals. Don't try to run. It's just a karmic test. So it's like when Gemini comes on the scene, just as when Pisces, remember I explained how when Pisces come on the scene, there's always an ending. You are the last. It's like every time a Pisces come around, there's always a sudden ending. Now the company wants to trade, or they want to cancel the contract all of a sudden. Now that you just got the job and you just got promoted, and now you start witnessing the company basically dissolving. It's like, oh, now they're gonna sell the company you work for and you just moved up. And I know y'all might say, whoop-de-doo, but hey, it's like, yeah, that just sucks, doesn't it? Because it's like, man, I had big plans of doing this and doing that. Now the company is closing. That's Pisces ending the cycle. See, you being in that environment, now it changes. See, now there's a new boss. Now there's a new company. Now there's a new situation at hand, and you're witnessing it every single time. But when you got Gemini in a situation, now this means that something, hey, this is a karmic test. See, this is a challenge. This is an automatic challenge. And see, you got to know how to channel your focus. See, that's the lesson behind it. You got to know how to distract yourself, even when it comes to you not revealing how you feel to a person in a situation. Because that's the thing. You will, I'm telling you, a Gemini will piss you off and get under your skin so fast because of the humor and the jokes. They are very, very like hardcore jokes. It's not like the little simple jokes of, I'm talking about gaslighting type of jokes. You know, you saying something that somebody probably can't help about themselves, you know, and a Gemini will clown you on those terms. So it could get very, very disrespectful. So on that note, it's not for you to confront that Gemini. What you want to do is channel your energy elsewhere, into music, distract yourself, even if it's happening in the workplace. Now, we're going to talk about when it comes to the karmic test with Gemini and this is one, I'm going to give you guys a few signs. See, you might feel mentally addicted, but spiritually drained. That's how you know it's a karmic test when these are the signs of the Gemini: being on scene, being in your life, being in a relationship with one, having a friend as one. Now, another thing is that when you're being karmically tested in the situation, the conversations between you and the Gemini can feel stimulating, but then they can leave you empty. See, like, it's like, yeah, we had a good conversation, but I still don't really know why we were even talking as long as we were. But it's like, this person is not my friend, or hey, this person, we ain't really close like that. And it's in those moments that you realize you're being karmically tested. And see, that emptiness of what you feel is because Gemini doesn't give you anything to hold on to. They don't give you the emotions or the feelings of what a friendship feels like, or what a relationship consists of. So when they get with you, it's almost like they're playing with you. It's like, oh, they're playing with your emotions. They're not actually opening up to establish a connection with them. Remember the butterfly effect. See, they're not there to be like, oh yeah, we're best of friends, let's keep talking. No, they're not going to confirm, and they're not going to give you any validation or let you know where you guys stand as a friendship or anything like that. So you could just be like, oh, I'm just going with the wind, where the wind takes us, right? No, but that's just how it goes when you are dealing with a Gemini. Now, the next thing is the fact that, see, a Gemini will mirror your duality. That's cold-blooded right there, because Geminis is considered a shapeshifter too. And that's a lot of the mutables are like that. But when a Gemini can actually mirror your duality, Pisces. See how you got two fish, so one going upstream, one going downstream, but see how a Gemini can try to make themselves appear more like you. That's manipulation. They try to manipulate the two fish to make it seem like, oh, you guys got a lot in common. Like they'll try to partner with you, see, versus you partnering with them. And you wonder why are they hanging on it in such a way because they might want something from you. They might need something from you. They ain't gonna just come out and ask for it though. And that's what you got to watch out for is why is this Gemini keeping tabs on me? Why are they trying to hang on? Or, you know, they're not really giving me no type of sign that, hey, we're friends, or, you know, there's no label. How, you know, and you as a Pisces, you will feel that caution light going where, hey, this person is hanging around me, but I don't know where we stand. See that? Now, the thing about it is a Gemini, they will mirror your duality, but one day, you got to watch this. One day they're curious. They're asking you a whole bunch of questions, right? And then the next minute, they're cold as ice. They don't even say a word to you. No, hey, how you doing, Tyrone? What's going on, Suzanne? There's no, this is like one day they're all curious and talking to you, and the next day they don't say nothing to you. That's how the Gemini, yeah. This is a karmic test though, see? Now, the thing about it is, what would we call this in other words? What do you call a person that says, what's up, man? How you doing? How's the kids? How's that? How's the coffee? You know, and then all of a sudden, the next day, they don't say nothing to you at all, but they see you, right? They act like they don't see you though. What do you call this? This is a challenge, see? This is them challenging you, and guess what they're challenging you with, Pisces? They're challenging your intuition. See how this is a test, a karmic test? And the reason why they're challenging your intuition to see if you're on your game. Oh yeah, every Pisces gets tested here. Because Pisces has the intuition, but here's the problem. Think of the intuition like a backpack, a school backpack where you have to fit 8 subjects into. A lot of Pisces don't want to use the intuition. They don't want to wear the raincoat when it's raining. Oh, I'm good. I'll just, you know, I just wear my shirt. I'm good. I don't want to wear a coat today, even though it's cold outside. In those moments, thinking that, oh, I could just cast my intuition to the side. I don't need it today. Nah, I don't need to be doing no intuitions today. You know, some people might treat the intuition like it's, you know, they might think it's a hard test or something, you know, something that's just too tedious. Now, the thing about it is they're going to challenge your intuition with logic. See, and guess what the test is? The karmic test is to get you to doubt yourself. See, and that's the thing is that how many Pisces do you know in the chat that doubt their intuition? That could actually do it. You could do yourself in doing that, doubting yourself. Your intuition tells you the truth and you just doubt it. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think Brenda would eat my lunch. Come on now. You know, like, and you know she ate it, but you know the intuition is telling you that she ate it. And you're sitting there doubting the whole fact that it was her. No, I don't think Brenda would have ate my lunch because her break, she takes her break at a certain time, and you just trying to find any type of way to convince yourself that, because you may not even want to face that reality. See how you have to be realistic, you have to be in reality when you're dealing with the karmic test of a Gemini. Now, the next thing, the fact that when it comes to a Gemini challenging your intuition with logic until you doubt yourself, that lesson that I was talking about, that karmic test, is to see if you're going to trust your inner voice without needing external validation. See, this is what gets Pisces in trouble, because, oh, you know who ate the lunch, but guess what you do? You go ask Tyrone what does he think, and that's where you F yourself up, Pisces, at. Then now you're mixing other people's opinions and what they feel, and they might not even feel that way. They might just be what? Talking. See, that's the difference of how you That's how you basically not fall into that trap. When you know something, Pisces, and your intuition is cooking, is telling you what's up, don't go asking Tyrone, hey man, what do you think? You think Brandon will eat my lunch, man? Don't do that. You're weakening your inner voice when you do that. And what would happen if you weaken your inner voice? You'll stop using it. So that backpack with the 8 subjects in it, guess what happens when you stop taking it to school, right? You just ignore it. You just don't pay attention to that bag no more. Then when it's time for you to, hey, let's pull out our books and go to chapter 27, guess what? You don't have yours. Because you didn't think you were gonna need it. You didn't want to need it. See? So that when you start ignoring your inner voice and you start ignoring your intuition, it stops showing you stuff because you don't want to, you don't want the truth. Now when you're when you really, really need it, it's not going to be as potent. It's not going to be as strong because you don't practice, you don't use it. Think of the intuition like practicing. You don't know what you got until it's gone. You shoot the jumper, you grab the basketball, you shoot a 3-pointer until the ball leaves your hand and then it goes in the hoop and then you're like, damn, I was right. But how it really goes with the intuition is that you don't really know you have no control over what your intuition shows you. Your intuition shows you the ball going in the hoop before it even leaves your hands. See how that goes? And then once you do shoot and it goes in the hoop and it's exactly how the intuition showed you, then you like, damn, I just saw that. I felt it, and that's how the intuition goes. It's like somebody telling you their life story without them telling you it, and you just know, or you just feel it. Oh man, you could just feel rain coming. And you ain't look at the weather channel. Next thing you know, it just starts raining. You like, oh man, dang, I just felt that. I knew that, man, my intuition just told me it was gonna rain and it just rained. See how that's how powerful your intuition is, Pisces. Now, you just gotta get it to that point. You gotta exercise, you gotta practice it. You gotta practice using it. I like to call the intuition the sword. Because when it's all said and done, that's what it becomes, a sword. It cuts through things. It cuts through things like chinks in the armor of an enemy. It starts to cut through and it shows you things as it cuts. Because then it's like, damn, I didn't know all this armor and all this stuff was before me. Because other people have shields. They don't have physical shields, but they use other arsenals of different things and styles of whatever it may be to shield their ego, the truth. And you find things, you find treasure chests, you find things as you begin to cut through things. And then you start to experience the spiritual growth where you start to elevate and grow. And then you start to, your mind start opening up into the higher frequencies. See, and then when you start opening your mindset to the higher frequencies, that's when you start seeing you start looking at the 777s and the duality and start to think different. See, because you've been transformed, your mind is no longer just carnal and just simple-minded. Now you actually know what was wrapped into the gift. See, the gift of the true power, the intuition, instead of you actually not knowing what was in the gift box. See how think of the intuition. You could actually trick yourself, because if you don't see your intuition as being a sword and you see it as being a banana, it's like now you're going to get exactly what you envisioned it to be, because you don't think it's powerful. See? So as long as you keep looking at the intuition as being a banana and you think it ain't worth nothing, guess what? Whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. You think it's a banana, you think it ain't worth shit, then it's like, well, it won't work for you like it will work for the next Pisces. But you can't go and say, oh yeah, he's full of shit, it doesn't work. No, it never works. That's because you don't use it right. See, anybody can use a tool and get a different outcome because they know how to use it. correctly. But see, if you don't know how to use something correctly, you can mess up. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. You just don't know how to use it. Now, the next thing is that when it comes to how to rise above the manipulation and the illusion. So this is the thing. Now, all Pisces out there, the best thing that I could teach you guys, you don't learn nothing else that I said thus far in this live, is you have to see the game without playing it. If you was to think like that, you will find yourself a Gemini won't be able to do nothing with you. No harm. See the game without playing it, and that's the analogy of getting through the illusion. See, because that's the thing. Pisces draws the illusion, right? Intended to throw you off. But if you see the game and don't play, what is that saying? Well, you just saw through the illusion, right? That's why Pisces is so badass, because they see everybody's illusions. They just choose not to play them. See? So it's like, oh, if I know what you're doing, why would I sit there and play games if I already know the truth? Why would I waste my time? I already know what's finna happen. Oh, you and Joe, y'all finna go rob a store. You and such and such finna go do something dumb. I already know what's finna happen. I know the risk, I know the challenge, I know that it's not gonna work. Why would I play that game? See? So here's the thing. You have to recognize emotional bait when it comes. See, that the emotional bait, that's what is going to make you play the game once you see what's finna happen. And then on top of that, you have to recognize the emotional bait, and you have to stay silent. Don't tell the enemy that you know what it's doing when it's doing it. See, if I was to drive down the street and I didn't turn my left signal on to let anybody know where I was turning to, what would happen? What would happen if I just instantly just made a turn on a dime? Somebody's going to react. See? Somebody's going to react, and they're going to say, man, why didn't he turn the signal on? Hey, man, turn the signal on. To let them know what you're doing, right? So this is the thing. Once you see what's happening, don't turn the signal on. Not turning the signal on is going to get you a reaction. See? Anytime someone reacts, that means that you're in control. See? Somebody's depending on you for answers. And that's where you want Gemini in that seat. You want them in that mind state, the mental mask, what I was talking about at the beginning of the live, the mental mask, they can't wear it. Because you're doing things and you're in your actions that they do not know what you're doing. So what does that allow them to do? They will focus on reacting more than playing games, because they don't see what you're doing. Because why? You're silent. Silence is the most intimidating thing that you can do, that you do easily, Pisces, is, hey, being silent, not saying nothing. Because movement is what actually gets you caught up. That moving, not when you're standing still, you notice that things don't really bother you like that. Because when you're moving around, talking, going and froing, it's like, boom, then you finally, something happens because, somebody bump into you, somebody sees you. So they won't react. Now, the next thing is that when you're silent, see what this does is that power in itself, as I mentioned, is in the observation. See, if you're not moving, now someone is saying, hey, man, dude's over there. He's so quiet. I didn't even see him. You ever heard that one before? Oh, I didn't even see him. I didn't even know he was in the car. He didn't say nothing. He didn't move. Now that person, they didn't have their guards up. They let their guards down. They didn't know nothing bad was going to happen because you were quiet. You were there the whole time, but you ain't say nothing. You see how that is? By you didn't say nothing, guess what? They didn't feel nothing. See? They didn't feel nothing. So you always want to, that's how you always keep people, you keep people in a state of mind where, oh, I didn't know. See? Well, damn, I didn't know. I didn't know I didn't even know you were here. You didn't, now your mind focusing on, oh, what I could have did, hey, had I known, I would have, boom. You see how you disarm your enemy like that? Because you don't give them a chance to prepare to do anything malicious to you. See? I'm telling y'all, this is the sauce, man. I know it's too much sauce for the plate, but hey, this is the real deal. Now, when it comes to staying anchored in the spiritual walk, with faith and purpose. Now, see, Neptune rules the illusion, but see, spiritual grounding in regards to praying, journaling, and meditation, it breaks deception. See, the truth will always outweigh a lie. When you look at it, that's always been life's theory. Truth always outweigh a lie. So no matter what you bring in the truth, the deception cannot live there. See? Now, the next thing is that, see, you can forgive and you should forgive to free yourself, right? But here's the thing. Here's the trick. Forgive without re-entry. Forgive without re-entry means Pisces ascends by releasing bitterness while maintaining boundaries. See, you have to have boundaries when you're a Pisces. You have to, because you're so compassionate that sometimes you forget to set boundaries. It's almost like you leaving your front door open, and anybody can just get in your house because you didn't lock your doors. You always, oh, damn, I forgot to lock my door again. Oh, I forgot to lock the back door. Damn, I forgot to lock the front door again. That's what you're doing when you don't put boundaries down. See? Then you set up yourself to get done in when you do that. You're exposing yourself, and you're exposing all your inner core when you do that. No boundaries means, oh, no locks, no rules. There's no resistance. There's nothing to deter me. I can just go in there and just do what I want. That's what you're doing when you don't set boundaries. Now, the next thing is transmuting that pain through alchemy, which Pisces is capable of, transmuting that pain into wisdom. See, how this is done when you use alchemy as a Pisces is the fact that you turn the heartbreak into a higher awareness. And that's the real revenge. That's not the type of revenge where, oh, you hit me and I hit you back. No, this is more advanced when you do it like this, is that you turn that heartbreak that you experience into a higher awareness. You become smarter when you become highly aware of what's going on. As I'm putting you guys on game and giving you this content, now I put y'all up on so much that now the next time you go face a Gemini, you're going to think differently. And they're going to react because, oh, how do you know what I'm doing? I didn't tell you this. Who taught you that? See? They begin to ask questions when they're not ready for something. They begin to become curious. Where did you get that? Who told you that? See? Because now they're not prepared for that. They're not prepared for you to know them. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to, let me see the next thing I have. Okay, now this is an important thing because a lot of people have misconceptions of Gemini. Now, some of you in the chat may know. Some of you may know that what do the twins mean regarding Gemini? What do they symbolize? See, now I'm going to break it down to y'all. The Gemini represents a dual nature. And see, when it comes to a Gemini, they symbolize two faces, and these faces are considered the twins. Now, when it comes to what do they mean? Now, you got one twin represents the shadow truth versus the performance. See? Now, you also have the duality, which one represents light versus the shadow. You could look at it, you could say it like that too. You could say light versus the shadow side. Now, the thing about it is one side of Gemini is logical, as we know, because why? It's a structured twin. At the same time, it's ruled by Mercury's intellect. Now, the next thing is that when it comes to the other side of Gemini, or you could say the second twin, is the chaotic side. See, and that's what Mercury naturally brings. It's chaos. So it's in their nature. And not only this chaos, it's also the emotional twin. And you notice when a person is more emotional, that it causes more damage, right? That's why you got to be careful when you make a decision going off of just straight up just only your emotions. You're really not supposed to, right? Now, when it comes to the emotional twin, of which I mentioned, this twin is the one that's curious and operates on impulse. So this means that a Gemini can genuinely love you one moment, and then at the same time, they can detach the next moment. Now, the next thing is the fact that they don't see it as a betrayal. This is so crazy because a Gemini doesn't see it as a betrayal. Talking to you one day and not, and then not talking to you. But here's the thing. This of which they feel is all about switching lanes. See, they see that as necessary. They see it as necessary. They think you're just supposed to do that. Switch lanes. Now, we're going to talk about the next thing is reflection. See, reflection of the mind, not the soul. This is how a Gemini operates. And see, Geminis, they live in their heads. And see, living in your head requires communication, wit, stimulation, those type of things. So when it comes to a Pisces, where do Pisces live? They live in their heart. And what does the heart consist of? Compassion, empathy, intuition. So when these two collide, that's what happens. A Gemini mirrors your words. See how cold-blooded that is? And a lot of people forget this. A Gemini will mirror your words. And see, a Pisces mirrors your energy. So it's like how you come into a room. That's how Pisces deal with you, is they read your energy. So, or this is what they mirror. Now, when it comes to why, it's because a Pisces feels the lie before it's said. Pisces can feel you lying before you even say what you're going to say. See that? That's why a Pisces may cut you off. When a Pisces cuts you off mid-sentence, they already know you're finna lie. You're gonna lie. They don't want to hear it. And then on top of that, they're ending the cycle right on the money. They might look to the side. They may just become absent-minded. They may just start a conversation with someone else in the middle of you talking because they already know that you're full of it. Now, when it comes to why is Gemini the hidden enemy of Pisces? Notice I said hidden. See? Why would let me explain to this. Why do you think that the Gemini is a hidden enemy of Pisces? Because it's an air sign. See? It's hard to feel what's blowing around you, because there's no exact direction of which it comes from. So when the wind blows, you don't really know where is it coming from. So it's hard for you to really feel and sense things when you're dealing with an air sign. You really don't see them. It's like, wait a minute, I feel the wind blowing, but hey, I don't know where it's coming from. And that's the thing that you begin to focus on as a Pisces. You're trying to focus on where is it coming from, and it's not clear as day like that. See? And then on top of that, when you're in this state of mind, what is this doing? See, you're doing things that the Gemini is doing, and you're not in that you're not living in the logic like they are. So it's almost like you're trying to feel things out, and it's like you probably should be thinking things out. And when you are trying to figure out whether or not a Gemini is your enemy. Now, here's the thing to look for. See, you got something versus information versus emotion clash. See, as I just mentioned. So Gemini, what they are capable of doing is manipulating energy through words. So it's like having a brick, and all of a sudden you break that brick down into a smaller bags, or however you want to say it. You break it down. So that's what a Gemini does. They take the whole information, they manipulate the energy, and then they break it down through words. See? And then on top of that, see how Pisces manipulates is that, see, a Pisces manipulates the reality through emotion. See? That's why a Pisces can heal somebody that's going through something that's bad, because a Pisces can manipulate the energy into emotion. They can manipulate the reality of it. Oh man, you drink, or hey man, you're an alcoholic. Then it's like, yeah, you probably should feel miserable, but a Pisces make you feel better. So it's like you feel that, oh, I don't have to drink anymore because I'm having a good ass time with this Pisces. And all of a sudden you don't even think to drink anymore. You just call the Pisces, and then after hanging out with the Pisces for so many days, it's like, damn, you don't even have the thirst for a drink anymore. See that? Because Pisces, they change your reality in your mind based off of that substance to be like, damn, I don't even need it no more. Pisces influence on any type of situation, it requires an ending and a new beginning. You are out with the old, in with the new. That's basically what a Pisces is there for. A Pisces will let you know that, hey, this ain't it. See, there's so much to the world than just a glass of vodka. It's like there's so much more to do in the world than have just vodka every day. And then you got some type of people that just think that that's the only thing popping. Then they realize, damn, you know what? You're right, Pisces. There actually is something better to do than just drinking every day. And then when a Pisces takes that person on a ride and they go do things together, then they be like, oh, actually, we went to an actual fairground, and we ate this, or we did that. And all of a sudden that person just feels that it needs to stop. And say, Brianna said, welcome, said, I mean, it's like Scorpio in a way, because they will maybe be loyal one person, but only one betray everyone else for them, then eventually betray that person anyhow for others. No, see, that's the thing. But I'll tell you more about Scorpio and why. It's because the difference is Scorpio, they hide secrets. See, so they are known to have a secret conversation that you don't know about. You have to look at Scorpio as a private investigator, like basically look at them like an officer or private investigator. So they're not going to tell you everything that they're doing. So it's like if they're your friend, they might actually have a secret conversation about you. It's not done intentional. It's just that they might talk to somebody concerning you, and they might not tell you as a friend, like, hey, I talked to Peter about you not showing up for work. And it's like, you might feel violated, like, wait a minute, you guys were sitting there talking about me, and you might be like, Scorpio, why was you talking about me behind my back? And then the Scorpio, they might feel like they saved those little little episodes of like those hidden conversations and those secret conversations. See, they like to hide those secrets, the things that they feel like it's a secret situation, they're gonna hide it from you. See, but that's the thing with Pisces, is that Pisces makes people show the very thing that they're hiding from the world, the very thing that they don't like about themselves. So that's why with Scorpio, that hiding of secrets doesn't work. See, because that with being around a Pisces dissolves all boundaries. So you're going to end up opening yourself up, and you're not even going to want to, but you can't help it. When you're around a Pisces, you just start to let go, and all of a sudden you let go of everything, and all of a sudden the Pisces just grabs everything. So it's like a Pisces just literally grabs every single thing off of its foundations. It collects everything, all the information, all the movement, everything about you. It collects all the data. And then all of a sudden the Pisces is like, wait a minute, I don't even know what to do with all this. You see, all this baggage and everything that you're going through, I don't even know what to do with all this trash. Because why? It is not mine. It's not mine. So I'm going to just give it away, or just, hey, sell it to Salvation Army, or, give it away to Salvation Army. It's not mine. But that's the thing. You begin to discover things when you're dealing with Scorpio. The Scorpio doesn't like to let go. See, they don't like to let go of things, especially when it's something secretive. They would actually get pissed off at a Pisces for saying, like, if it was a secret at hand, a Scorpio would get mad at you for talking to certain people because they are possessive. Like, a Scorpio will, when they become your friend, they want to get real close and personal with you. So this is why Scorpio rules the private parts, because when a Scorpio gets to know you, they want to get real close and personal with you. So they start to probe. When somebody probes into your life, they get extremely close to you, to where they basically know everything about you. So it's almost like a person knowing everything behind which one wears. Like clothing or anything. They get real close to you, like a mesh, a bond, to where it's almost like they know the color of your underwear. And it's like, wait a minute, this Scorpio done got so close to me, now they know everything about me. So why would a Scorpio get so close to you and know everything about you? What would be the reason why? So you can't leave. You can't leave them. See, abandonment is the worst thing you could do to a Scorpio. So them getting so close to you, it's harder for them to let go. See? Because your underwear become their underwear. Your life becomes a part of theirs. So when they get, a Scorpio is a scorpion, a symbolism of a scorpion. So when the scorpion, it starts to lurk and linger, it gets real close, right? And then once it gets real close, it gives you that Scorpio grip. The Scorpio grip, it holds that whole friendship or relationship together very, very strong. Now, when you guys have an argument or something happens, guess what? You have to work it out. See, you can't leave me because I'm in it for the long haul. I'm with you. Hey, I chose you to be my friend, or in a relationship, whatever it is. You can't leave, because that Scorpio is not going to let go. See? So that's the thing. Like, it's very difficult to get a Scorpio to move on, or to, hey, end that situation. So all of a sudden, it's like a Scorpio forces you to say, oh, well, we just gonna work it out. See, and get past this. It's almost like a Scorpio wants to dominate wants to take that option away from you from leaving them. Now, the next thing is, let's see, Brianna said, you got 8th house, Sun, Moon, Jupiter, Scorpio. You're almost more Scorpio than Pisces sometimes. Well, in my chart, I have Rise in Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio riser. I have Moon in Aquarius, and then I have Pluto, and I do have Pluto in the 8th house, and it's retrograde. And then I have Scorpio in the 12th house. So when I'm able to identify like an X-ray vision, because it's at 28 degrees. So I'm able to, like, when I'm around manipulators and people that think they're slick, I actually figure them out pretty well. It's not so much that they can hide from me without me actually knowing what they're up to. But it's like when my moon in Aquarius, it just allows me to detach before they get a chance to do anything. Because, anytime you got Aquarius placement, especially when it comes to the moon, you oftentimes can detach. You're unpredictable. So it's hard for you to actually be read in a situation, because you catch on to different things very quickly. So it's like, when you had that moon, it's like, I feel like my moon in Aquarius oftentimes protect me from a lot of different things, or feeling the effects of what a situation could be in its worst moments. Because I don't let it, it's almost like the situations don't get that far, if that makes sense. Now, when it comes to, I say it's with being a Scorpio riser now, that's challenging, because as a Pisces sun, it's like, yeah, I have a desire to meet people, but then you got to be careful, because you can't meet everybody. See, and sometimes you could actually be compassionate, and you think you have enough. You think you have enough protection to actually, like, to go out there and meet people, but then my Scorpio, it's like the Scorpio riser within me is like, no, you can't trust everybody. So I feel like my Scorpio placement does protect me from, just trying to be everybody's friend, or trying to get to know people or everybody, because you can't trust people. So it does give me a little bit of caution. Okay, see, Flex got Mop said, I'm a Scorpio riser. We don't got no friends. No, we don't have friends, because when it comes to a Scorpio riser, it's like we tend to trigger people. And that's a lot of times why you experience a lot of people project, like a lot of people that like to project onto you, because you're a Scorpio riser. Projection is the only thing people will do to you, is like they will try to put on to you what they're feeling, because they're triggered by you. And it's because it's almost like this undercurrent of just things just being like an unsettling situation. So it's like when they become unsettled, they can't get settled, because it's like you standing there, it's almost you're penetrating and triggering and making them drop their mask, and they don't want to take the mask off. See, Scorpio is all about exposing, rebirth, death, transformation, and being yourself. See, and then another thing too is that when it comes to the Scorpio placements, is a fact, like when you are dealing with people, it's like they become afraid of you, and they start to treat, if a person's afraid of you, then they try to destroy you, they try to attack you, because they are afraid, they're threatened. And that's the thing, is like when you come on the scene, not too much of anything can hide from you, because it's like you're going to see the real them. Like, no matter what facade or what illusion or anything that they try to throw at you or project onto you, you're going to see right through it. See, because what do they do it through? Perception. See, perception cuts through, it pierces a person's soul, it makes you see what's hidden. And that's the thing, because of Scorpio thriving in the darkness anyway, likes to be behind the scenes. In the dark, it's almost like you can see in the dark. In other words, see in other people's darkness, because that's what Scorpio does. It reveals other people's shadow side. People, they can't help it when you got a Scorpio, when you're a Scorpio riser, you trigger their shadow side. So a lot of times people will show you their dark side, and it's like you actually trigger that within that person, their dark side, their shadow side. It comes out, and sometimes the people don't even know it's there. They don't even know it's there. So if you got any type of hang-ups, you know, get jealous of people, you know, you become you're evil, you got evil thoughts, all that comes out when the Scorpio rises around you, or a Scorpio sun or Scorpio moon. It's like you just have a knack, or just a tendency for people to just like show their dark side. They can't help it. And then it's sometimes it surprises you, because you be like, damn, I ain't even know you was a felon. I didn't know you even killed somebody. Like, oh, I didn't even know that. Like, dang, you done told me you done did this to somebody. And it's like, you might have been looking through your own sun sign, just thinking like, damn, I thought this person was cool. I ain't know they, you know, I ain't know they was living in a halfway house for, you know, doing some type of crime or something. But that's because Scorpio gets to the bottom of things. And that's I mean, you can look at it as a blessing or a curse, but at the same time, it's more of a blessing. Now, the thing about it is, because people will fight you from not knowing, you know, from being in a position of knowing their darkness. People don't want you to know their darkness, so they'll fight for it, you know. So that's why I end up getting into fights with people. Now, the thing about it is, so when it comes to Gemini, as we mentioned, they seek data. So Pisces, they seek meaning. You know, they make sense of things by basically how they, you know, like a meaning. So like if it has to have meaning to it for a Pisces, they're gonna get to the bottom of that. In other words, now Pisces, this is the one of the main things with Pisces, and a lot of times Pisces, oftentimes they feel unseen, or sometimes Pisces may feel not loved. Like a Pisces can be in a situation, it can be in a relationship, a friendship with somebody, and if it doesn't have substance, or it doesn't have purpose, or it doesn't have meaning, a Pisces might feel unloved. A Pisces might feel like, are these people really cool with me? Like, what are they cool with me for? Like, why are they my friends? Like, I just want to know, give me some type of substance to know that this actually is real. Because a Pisces will dissolve themselves if they don't get that meaning, or they can't find a way to justify that, hey, this is a real situation at hand, are we really cool? A Pisces gonna dip. See, the fish will always begin to move to a different space, a different place, because hey, they're gonna find realness. You can't cheat a Pisces or hold realness from them, or a better situation. Now, the thing about it is, Gemini feels misunderstood. So a lot of times, so in this whole information versus emotional class, this is what happens. Now, the next thing is that air scatters waters, which we mentioned earlier. So when a Pisces opens up emotionally, Gemini intellectualizes it, and then all of a sudden they're going to say, oh, you're overthinking everything. See that? Now, this made Pisces feel invalidated and drained, as I mentioned, as Pisces will leave an emotional leak. And see, once they feel invalidated and drained, then that's kind of like a silent form of spiritual warfare that's happening here. So that's something to watch out, watch out for. The next thing is the curiosity trap. And see, Gemini's curiosity has no loyalty in it. Just because they're talking to you doesn't mean that they like what you're saying, they like you, and all that could just be, they could just speak sweet nothings, and act like they're cool, and they're not. Their curiosity, as I mentioned, has no loyalty. And see, Gemini will explore new connections while still attached to you. So it's like, yeah, you cool with me, but then now you got all these other new people that you know, but it's not done out of malice or anything, but it's done out of boredom. See? So you got to understand, Gemini is always going to have more than one relationship, more than one marriage, more than one of each. Because why? They do not want to feel bored, get bored. They want to escape boredom altogether. Brianna said, that's why I'm like, yeah, for real. Yeah, definitely. She said, I once was with a Pisces moon. He cheat, lie, still give me passcodes, information, control over all his thing, account information. I'm like, what the F? Yeah, see, they'll do that. It's like they'll do that type of stuff. But remember, it could just be done out of curiosity of why they're doing all that, giving you the passcodes and doing that type of stuff. You know, that's to keep you around. Now, the thing about it is, when it comes to a Pisces interpretation regarding this curiosity trap that Gemini may bring, is because of the betrayal of the soul's trust. So remember I said the symbolism of the twins, the two faces, is the fact that the person being two-faced is capable of it's a higher chance, it's on a higher scale, higher percentage that you'll get betrayed. That's just how it is. A person that has two faces, meaning they're two-faced, that's a danger, because if a person is two-faced or they play both sides, there's no loyalty there. So they're only going to betray you at some point. You just don't know when. And you don't know how much time you have until it happens. Now, how a Gemini betrays a Pisces man or a woman. See, for a Pisces woman, a Gemini, they will flirt harmlessly. They can't help it. That's what they say, right? So they'll flirt harmlessly with others while saying it's just a conversation. That's how they get you. So if they're playing you, this is the type of lame excuse they're going to use. Yes. Oh, we're just having a conversation. There's nothing going on. Yeah, they talking to the woman next door. You wonder why the Gemini keeps taking the trash out. You know, any other time they didn't want to take the trash out, you wonder why they keep, oh, let me take the trash out, babe. Oh, now they going next door, wandering off and talking to the neighbors and talking to the lady upstairs. You don't know why, but this could be why. See, it starts with a conversation, then it leads to the bedroom. It leads different places and different avenues and ventures, and the wind just blows everything around to where you don't know what they're talking about. And you never know how it ends, because why? It will always be a betrayal. The twins represents the two faces. The two faces represent the swords, the knives. See, the knives are pointed down. See, so that means that they're intrusive. That means that it's done on purpose. The knives going down means that they're actually going into that. This is something that they plan to do. So if the knives was up, that means that if they were holding the knives upward, that would mean, oh, I don't have the intent to do that, right? So the knives going down means that, yeah, I'm putting them down. I'm using these knives. See, but you just don't know when is the problem. You don't know when they're going to betray you. Now, the next thing is that when it comes to so Pisces women, they'll use the harmlessly conversation, oh, it's just a conversation, and they'll expose your secrets into jokes. Remember, I talked about the gaslighting, or they'll use the debates. See, you either get the debates or you get the harsh gaslighting jokes. And see, this all appears as cleverness regarding the Gemini. See, when you read into this, you might ask yourself, damn, why are they constantly joking around in a serious situation? And you might be like, damn, I caught them talking to another woman upstairs, and why are they joking? Why are they joking around like this is a game or something? See, this is why they're doing it. But here's the thing. See, when you need emotional support, they ghost you. Man, how many of y'all in the chat know as soon as shit get real, the Gemini ghosts you? See, and then they ghost you claiming that, oh, I just needed some space. Oh yeah, I left. Yeah, I ended up leaving. Yeah, because I had to get some sleep. I had to work in the morning. They always got something to say that to throw you off. And it would sound so articulate. It'll sound so, the story would be said in a way that's like professional, and people believe them, and they be full of shit. And people actually believe them because it sound good. And see, the thing about it is, when for a Pisces man now, you dealing with Gemini woman doing this. See, a Gemini can they may emotionally bait you by testing how deep your loyalty goes. So they say, this is why I said a Gemini is a natural enemy for Pisces, because in this karmic test, a Gemini can emotionally bait you as a Pisces man, to see how loyal you really are to your wife, to your kids, to anything that means something to you. And see, what ends up happening is they gaslight your intuition, saying that, oh, you're just imagining things. Oh, you're just imagining things. And see, if they keep on telling you this over and over, guess what tends to happen? You start believing them. Because that's the thing about the snake. You got to think like the head of Medusa. When you're dealing with Geminis, they have snakes. The snake is always going to try to breed deception. And see, twisting and playing with the words, that's what the devil do. And it's like, if they speak something and you start entertaining it, you're not going to be able to think for yourself. That's manipulation of the mind. See? And using intellect as the baseboard, using the intellect as the baseboard, and also imagine if you're not using your intuition, Pisces. Remember I said the two strongest things to a higher frequency of self-awareness is intuition and intellect. So if you're not using your intuition and the Gemini is using the intellect and the manipulation on you, that's like punching you and kicking you at the same time. See? So you could be wooed by just nodding your head and not saying nothing and going along with the Gemini's plan just because they keep talking. And I'm going to tell you a secret. Did you know that talking, you know how they say you talk too much, you say too much, oversharing. Talking is one of the worst setups. It is used, communication of just chatting, just chatterbox. That's how people get killed. That's one of the number one ways people get set up, is by being distracted with conversation. I just told y'all the secret. That's how people end up getting set up in the worst ways, is because they listen to somebody just running their mouth. And none of the words hold substance. See? Now here's the thing. You wonder why Pisces is so quiet and so silent. How does Pisces escape? How do they escape? They escape the whole execution. See? Because they know the wisdom of not running your mouth. See? A fish only gets caught unless it opens its mouth, right? Symbolically, right? So think about it. Now here's the thing. See, the Gemini woman will gaslight a Pisces man intuition, saying that you were just imagining things, for example. So they gather personal information on you, Pisces man. They gather personal information on you to later use the manipulation to gossip. Oh man, that Pisces man, he's always talking about his intuition. Oh, I tell him he's just imagining things. Oh, You see how they're stirring up a storm because of Mercury applying the intellect in a chaotic fashion. See, Virgo and Gemini can't help it. They are the brothers and sisters of destruction because of Mercury. And it's all started, they start fires and chaos based off of communication and how it's used. Can't help it. Can't help it. So when it comes to, the bottom line is, Gemini betrays Pisces through emotional detachment masked as logic. Now here's the thing. How Pisces can avoid the conflict with Gemini? Well, guess what? Don't try to explain how you feel. If a person doesn't communicate that way, you wouldn't go to a frog and be like, hey, stop jumping. You think the frog will understand you? No. Why? Because you're human. See? But if I stop explaining how I feel, guess what? The frog gonna jump anyway, because that's what he do anyway. See? So let him run his mouth. Let her run her mouth. Eventually, they let them run their mouth till they become blue in the face, with what they used to say. Let them do that. They're gonna keep talking, and then they're gonna talk themselves out. See? So you don't have to sit there and explain anything to a Gemini. And see, demonstrate boundaries. Don't just maintain them. Demonstrate. And see, look, a Pisces loses power when they over-explain. Did you know that? I bet you didn't know that. See how I told you talking is the enemy. You know why talking is the enemy? Because listen, when a snake actually hovers, guess what a snake is? Guess what a snake's radar is detecting? Interaction. See? Interaction. See, Adam wouldn't ate the apple unless Eve would have shut her goddamn mouth, right? But guess what? When she sat there and talked him into eating the apple, that was the fall of man, right? He sinned because he listened to deception. See, over-explaining yourself is you're exhausting yourself. You're giving your energy away. A person can actually capitalize off of your over-explaining yourself. When you're trying to convince someone, guess what you're really doing? See? You give them the right, you give them the hope to deceive. Oh, now it becomes easier now because you're trying to convince. You're trying to convince. There's nothing to convince. Think of the frog. The frog is going to jump anyway because that is what he does. The process never changes. No matter what kind of frog it is, it's always going to jump. And that's what you have to remember with Gemini, is that they're going to talk. They're going to use arsenals of different wits of communication to destroy you or to win. But if you don't give them, you don't communicate the same, guess what? They're going to talk anyway. And guess what? They're going to eventually tire themselves out because there's an ending. See, no reaction, no action. See, that's another thing. So demonstrate boundaries. And see, another thing, when Pisces loses the power from over-explaining, as I mentioned, over-explaining what? Emotions. To someone who intellectualizes them. Geminis, they intellectualize emotions. See, they don't operate the same as a Pisces. They don't do it the same. So why would you do it to them? Why would you do it? Why would you expect it? See, Brianna said, well, they can't, if you detach fast, the way Pisces detaches brutal because people think you're emotional and Pisces isn't that. That's Cancer. Facts. That's what I was saying. Like, more like Cancer is the more emotional one, the more sensitive one, basically more vulnerable to how they feel. See, they can't think because it's ruled by the moon. So the moon goes and comes, it's like it fluctuates. So they actually get stuck in how they feel. See, that's the difference. Now, let me see. Brianna said, well, Gemini very weak. Let me explain their weakness. They need social contact that they can't survive without facts. That's what we was talking about with the logic. They live in logic. They don't live in the emotions. Now, Brianna said Pisces actually stronger than Gemini because we need almost no social contact at all, where as Gemini needs it. Facts. They needed actually to intellectualize, they needed to analyze, they needed to have the whole socialness, they're social creatures. They can't help it. But here's another thing. So when it comes to Pisces can avoid the Gemini, I mean, can avoid conflict with a Gemini. See, The thing about it is, don't try to explain your feelings, is what I said first, and demonstrate boundaries to them. So another thing is stay observant, not reactive, as I mentioned. See, silence makes Gemini uncomfortable. They cannot stand for a person to sit still and not say nothing. And see, they thrive off of what we just mentioned, dialogue, that back and forth shit. That's what they thrive off of. And see, they thrive on dialogue and distractions. Did you know? Let me tell you a secret. Did you know this is how they, this is why the illusions don't work on them. This is why illusions don't work on them. You know why? Because they love, listen, they thrive on dialogue and distractions. Did you know that distractions is how you actually, a distraction is how you actually figure out an illusion. See, you talk yourself through the distraction. You talk yourself through. That becomes a distraction to the person that's drawing the illusion. And guess how it's done? By talking. Because listen, the more you talk, it actually can increase deception. See, whatever you focus on, it can actually deceive you based off of what's presented to you. See, that's why some people begin to question. Some people begin to question because something doesn't sound factual. Remember I said the truth always a lie. And that's just how it is. It's just it's the same way as a frog jumps. See, it's going to jump anyway. So the truth is going to be the truth regardless. It stands. The courtroom uses as hell. So it doesn't, you can lie all day, but guess what? The truth still stands. And the jury knows that. So with Gemini, like I say, you got to be on your toes and you have to be awake, because a Gemini is just like a snake. They can slither and get close to you. Where we know the nature and the symbolism of a snake is that what? It attacks that of which moves. See? If you moving and all that, it's an easy target. Now, the situation is, it's not so much about the snake bite either. It's about the venom. See? And that venom is the deception. And the worst deception is you thinking something and it's not that. Oh, I thought this person was my friend. And then boom, they actually sleep with your wife. They do something of betrayal that's related to betrayal. See? Now, the thing about it is, stay observant, not reactive. Now, the next thing is that you have to mirror their energy calmly when you're a Pisces. See, what does that mean? Speak short. Speak short means a man of few words is very, very powerful. It's actually in stoic, stoic, being stoic. A man of a few words. Don't say too much. See? Not saying too much actually speaks volumes. Now, the next thing is factual sentences. In those few words, you're saying something that's very factual. And also, guess why that's done? You saying fewer words, that means the Gemini can't twist your words because you ain't said much. See, the more you say, the Gemini can play with that. The Gemini can play with your words by the more you run your mouth with them. See? Remember, I told you communication is manipulation when it comes to a Gemini. And see, they can't know why they can't twist your words, because you're grounded. Man, I'm telling you, man, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but every sign I have, every sign peg, no diddy. But I'm just saying, like, I literally know this shit. I know what I know. Put it like that. Now, the next thing is you want to keep your mystique. Meaning, if you ever guys ever noticed the whole X-Men, you know Mystique as one of the X-Men. You know how you never really know her true form, right? She changes form to throw you off, right? Based off of how she feels. Cold-blooded, man. This is power. This is game. This is sauce. This is whatever you want to call it. Now, here's the thing. Keep your mystique. You should know yourself better than anybody else can anyway. And see, the less that, by you doing this, guess what, the Gemini, they can't analyze you. When you keep mystique, they cannot analyze you. And the more this is going to allow them to respect your energy, because they think they're the smartest person in the room. So when they realize that they're not, guess what the Gemini does? Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, that was a good one. See, and that's seldomly done because Geminis oftentimes think they're the smartest ones, you know, to do anything. Now, when it comes to the next thing, avoid competing for understanding. If the Gemini think they're the smartest one in the room, let them think that. See, remember, when you make it seem like they won, you know they didn't win. But hey, let them think that they won. See, don't fight for the understanding. Don't compete for it. And see, Pisces wins by withdrawing into self-mastery. See, that's cold-blooded. These concepts and these aspects and everything I mentioned is self-mastery. See, self-control. Everything that requires to the self, everything that's closer to the body requires what? Soul's trust, right? So when it comes to Pisces winning by withdrawal to self-mastery, not by verbal sparring. No, you're not fighting with words. You have no reason to. What greater reward would it be? If you just self-master everything, you don't need to fight with words like the Gemini does. See? Because you don't care about, what they care about. Now, the spiritual lesson in this enemy relationship. See, Gemini teaches Pisces how to think objectively, where Pisces teaches Gemini how to feel truthfully. See, this opposition that I mentioned, it does, it forces the balance that I was talking about at the beginning of this live. It will force the balance. Intuition with what? Intellect. See, that's why I said if both parties can actually get through their tough times and all the back and forth, if you apply intellect with intuition, man, you will be a power couple. You will have the best of the friendships. You probably might invent something that, hey, nobody ever thought of. It could be a very, very good situation if both of you join forces and keep that balance. But here's the thing. See, Pisces ascends faster once they stop chasing understanding from someone who isn't spiritually fluent. Don't chase it. See? Don't never chase something in a situation like that. Let me see. Say Brianna said, it's based off a need. Fact said with Pisces, it's optional. We have choice between one another. Said, well, Gemini is basically codependent. Yep. Said so, but you understand people, you easily know how to maneuver, block, shield, do things. Gemini would just stand there like confused. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you gotta, they love to talk. That is their biggest weapon. And watch the whole daily, they'll cut you off. They are known to try to cut you off when you're talking. So that's something to watch as well. Because why? They're competing when they're doing that. Said you right about that, but trick is to just go, okay, they're doing this and feel things, but go. That's what they do, is to put up with it, not you just cutting them off. Yeah, definitely. You this what I'm telling y'all about is more like how to deal with the Gemini, because you don't want to run. It could be very intimidating based off of them using the whole articulation of the words, them appearing to sound smart. That in itself can make a person, backpedal, or make a person just freeze. So when they come on the scene, what I'm teaching you guys, it allows you to just look at them differently, to not be afraid of them, you know, because now you notice that, oh, that's something that's done to throw me off. See, it's a distraction. And that's something you got to watch. And you can see this to happen in different leaderships of different leaders in the country, Donald Trump and Kanye West, and, you know, whoever else that you may know to be a Gemini. You can see the whole contradiction within the action. See? Yes, that Gemini and Virgo think they're always the smartest one in the room. Yes, definitely. And thinking like that, in itself, in a nutshell, is the reason why there are fights for over nothing. What are they competing for when you get into a fight with a Virgo or a Gemini? For who's smarter? See, that's dumb. That's not logic. And that's usually what it's all about is, oh, I know this. I know more about this. I have this. You know, I did this. And it's like, for a Pisces or another water sign, it's like, well, if you don't really care about or value that type of stuff, there's no point to go toe to toe and be trying to fight for something that require you to, you know, mental sparring or what we mentioned. Now, the next thing is that when it comes to, let me see, we didn't really talk much about what mutable means. Now, one thing about what mutable means is the fact that all zodiac signs belong to a modality. So we got cardinal, we got fixed, and we got mutable. So those of you that don't know what cardinal means, what this means is that the cardinal signs, they're the initiators. So who are the initiators of the zodiac? And it's Aries, Cancer, and Libra, and Capricorn. Now, when it comes to the fixed signs, fixed signs are considered the stabilizers. And who are these? Who are the stabilizer of the zodiac is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And when it comes to the mutable signs of the zodiac are considered the adapters. And these are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So being mutable, it means flexible. See, it means flexibility. It also is more related to shape-shifting and being able to adjust with new energies or environments. So mutable signs, like I say, mutable signs, they end each season. See, so they prepare the world for change. That's the whole point of a sign being mutable. Allows the flexibility. Now, when it comes to the Pisces and when it comes to the mutableness or the mutability of a Pisces being a water sign, is the fact that it's ruled by Neptune. Everybody know that Neptune is the planet of dreams, illusion, and transcendences. Okay, so we know that. Now, Pisces mutability, it flows through emotion and intuition. So that's how Pisces has an effect on situations, and that's how the change comes about. And also a Pisces, they can sense what other people feel, and because they're the cosmic sponge, they're able to absorb energy like water. So whatever you put into it, that's what the Pisces will show you. Everything that you put into the relationship, the friendship, that's what a Pisces is going to show you. So that's why you can't hide your energy from a Pisces, because they will absorb it. Now, the changeability is internal. It's internalized. What does that mean? Well, when it's internal, that's more related to your mood, empathy. See, it's what you can't see. It's like the subconscious, spirituality. So they can become whoever the environment needs to be. If we need a villain on the scene to take out some enemies, if that's what the environment requires, if that's what needs to happen, guess what? That Pisces will fill that cup, that void, whatever it needs to be, whatever needs to happen. We need somebody fired. We need somebody hired. See, we got to get rid of somebody. That's what a Pisces, whoever the environment needs, that's what a Pisces will become. Now, that's why you have the healer, which is Pisces. The mirror is the Pisces, or escape artist is the Pisces. Now, when it comes to their Pisces challenge, What do y'all think? That's the bonus. The bonus question is, what is the Pisces challenge? Out of everything I said, what is the hardest, the challenge thing for a Pisces? I'm going to tell you. Boundaries. Why? Because they dissolve easily. See? They dissolve easily. It's no different than ice in a cup. You know, ice in a cup only lasts for a short amount of time. And then what happens? It becomes water. See? So if you want your ice, you have to hurry up and eat it or drink it because it's going to dissolve. That's, if you really want to see, if you really have a hard time of understanding what does boundaries, dissolving boundaries mean, it's the same concept of ice in a cup. See, you dissolve boundaries, Pisces, so everything melts. Everything melts. When you are around, everything starts to, it dissolves. See? And why does it dissolve? Because it makes room for your absorption of new energies. See, as you adapt, it takes form. See? And you are formless. So every time you go into a situation, you become it. See? You become whatever you're surrounded by. You are formless. So everything around you, you adapt to it. And once you adapt to it, you become its structure. It's no longer the same as you entered it. See? So that's why Pisces has to move on to the next assignment, because there's some cleaning up to do. Now, the next thing I'll say is that, see, Pisces transforms that reality through compassion and imagination. There's nothing like a Pisces imagination. Now, I'll say Gemini, their mental mutability is air. So with Gemini, they're ruled by Mercury and the planet of communication and thoughts. And Gemini mutability moves through ideas, as we mentioned, language and curiosity. And see, what happens is Geminis, they shift perspectives. And they do this very, very quickly. So they can play both sides to explore the truth. Playing both sides to explore the truth. That's not fair. That's like cheating. If you cheating, it's like, damn, you playing both sides. So you talking to the friends and the enemies. See? Just to get to the bottom of things. See how like slithery that is? And then on top of that, when it comes to their changeability, it's external. So their opinions, their interests, and their social structures, they change. And you never know who they're cool with. That's the major one right there. You don't never know who their social circles are. And on top of that, they adapt by analyzing, detaching, or just talking their way through situations. That's why the illusion doesn't survive. See? The illusion doesn't work because they'll talk themselves to the truth. They'll talk to you, and eventually they're on the hunt for the truth. And guess what? If a if a Gemini beats you there by talking, that's embarrassing. Because you know, in every illusion, the truth is in it. It's just hidden. See? It's not easily seen. But how does a Gemini get to it? Talking. Talking, it makes you drop your guard. See? And the more closer that a Gemini gets to home, they get to the truth, you start backpedaling. You start over-explaining yourself. You start what? You start putting your energy, you start wasting energy trying to throw them off, from getting to your center, your core. And then all of a sudden they find out the truth, and then boom, a Gemini runs off to the next person like, hey, that dude is full of shit, dude's garbage, whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like you're sitting there trying to explain yourself even further when you shouldn't over-explain anything. Don't say nothing. See? A man, a few words, just don't say nothing. Keep it always at a few words, so that way they can't twist your words. See, now the next thing is that when it comes to so I'm gonna get to this the second one on the next School of Fish. You guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Want to thank everybody for coming out, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.